Falcon fans, Falcon fans, Falcon fans, and of course, good old Falcon fans. You already know what it is. You already know what to do. One time for the fan. We are back talking Atlanta Falcons football. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Big shout out to Bodie. Big shout out to Miss Carrie. One time for the fan. Big shout out to T-Will for my ATL Sports 2 as well, man. How is everything going with you, sir, on this 40 something degree night here in Georgia, man? What the hell's going on here, man? Where's the sun?
Hey man, looks like the sun took a day off today. Looks like fall is here and in full effect, and it's what, mid-October, so it's about time. That's understandable. But no, doing well, man. All is well. Today is what, hump day, middle of the week. Have no complaints. Looking forward to some Falcons football. Looking forward to some things we're going to talk about tonight, sir. So, without any further ado, Mr. Jack Spade, let's get to it.
We're not gonna, keep everybody here for 2 hours tonight. Got something to do here coming up shortly, so we'll just go ahead and talk some Falcons football quickly. But Terry, you're on Twitter, right? You're on X, right?
I am, sir. I am.
Oh, okay, so check your phone. Falcon fans in the chat. We're gonna go to the chat here in just a minute. Check your phone here, and head over to Twitter or X, and check to see if you're blocked. And I have no idea who this guy is, but check to see if you're blocked by, where's this guy? This guy is weird. Santa Claus? Here he is, Mr. Super Shin. You guys see it on my page right here? I'm gonna go ahead and pull the banner down. Mr. Super Shin. So it started this morning with Carrie getting blocked. And then when I saw Carrie get blocked, I said, damn, Carrie, what did you do? Because you don't get blocked for posting Falcons content or Manchester City content or anything like that. I mean, all you do is talk sports. I mean, you're a diehard sports fan. But then I decided to go check and see who this person's page is. And Terry, randomly, I'm blocked too as well. So Twitter is just in this uproar right now. Mr. Super Shin apparently has blocked every single person on Twitter. Don't know how he's done it. But Terry, can you go to his page? Are you blocked, Terry?
I don't think I'm blocked, Jack. Does this mean I'm blocked? Hold on. Wait a minute.
Is that him? Is that Mr. Super Shin?
That's him.
Terry, you're following the guy?
No, I'm not following the guy, but I'm not blocked.
But can you see his post? Does it show the post?
Let me see if I can follow him.
Hold on, let's get you up there. Let me put you on the big screen. Show it again, Terry.
All right. Can you see it?
Bring it back. Bring the phone back a little bit. What? You can actually see the followers and everything? He's got us blocked.
Let me see if I can follow him. Let me see what happens if I follow him. Oh,
everybody's blocked. Chad Johnson is blocked. Ocho Cinco's blocked.
It says pending.
Pending.
I'm pending.
I have no idea who this guy is, but he has everybody here in the Falcons community blocked. He has Ocho Cinco blocked. Even Ocho Cinco retweeted it. We have no idea who this guy is.
So he's got 122. He's got 477 followers. I mean, he doesn't have that many followers anyway. I mean, it's not like he's got like hundreds of thousands.
But he's causing this Twitter uproar because people are waking up to you've been blocked by this person. It's like, who is this guy? I have no idea who he is.
Should I unfollow?
He's blocking thousands of people right now.
Should I unfollow him?
You should.
Let me unfollow.
And then you should block him. You should block him as well, too.
Okay.
Just because.
I will do that, sir.
He has in the chat.
Wow. What was, so what sparked his ire? What pissed him off?
I have no idea. I mean, Carrie's thinking he's an Aints fan if he's blocking all these Falcon fans. But then again, how would he know us? Right? It's just so random. How would he know all these Falcon fans? But then again, he went to go block Ocho Cinco too. Ocho Cinco retweeted it. Like, who is this guy?
No, Ocho Cinco did have a revelation on the Saints-Falcons rivalry. Maybe he didn't like that. Maybe he didn't like Ocho Cinco's rendition of it. I don't know.
We started the podcast with breaking the ice here on some Twitter nerd blocking everybody over here, but still, man, I don't know who the fuck is this Santa Claus guy. Super Shin, that's his name. Santa Claus? Super Shin?
Shin.
Super Shin?
I have no idea. Is he even a person? Maybe he's a bot. What if he's not even a person? What if
Probably. It could be. You get those spam messages all the time on Twitter. Let's talk Falcons football, though. We had to break the ice here. Deshaun Coswell's in the chat. Falcon fans, hit that like, share, and subscribe button. Tag your Falcons friends. Tell your Falcons family. Let's talk Falcons Seahawks for a minute here. NFL Power Rankings was out earlier today, too, as well. And a lot of people are concerned about the defense, Terry. They're concerned about being last in the league in sacks, but still being first in the division, being the number 2 seed, possibly looking like you're on roll to go to the playoff early in the season, just calling it. But Terry, we play a team on Sunday who's been known to give up some sacks in the pocket. So if you didn't get your sacks on Carolina, everybody's pretty much banking that you can get not 1, not 2, but possibly 3 sacks on Geno Smith. Once again, Terry, we talked about this on One Time for the Fan. He's going to throw the ball about 20, 30, 40 times, but their offensive line is not that good. Fans of Seattle have called out the left guard and the left tackle, which Kerry had posted some stats to as well in our chat earlier. Big shout out to Kerry from One Time for the Fan. Their right tackle, I think, is the worst tackle in the league when it comes to pressure rates, Terry.
he's the Jalen Mayfield of the league?
Oh, my gosh. He is what's Giannis's brother? From Milwaukee?
Oh, Anacopo?
He's the Adacopo Antetokounmpo of
wow.
the league.
Wow.
At tackle. So whoever's over there, I know Carter is banged up. If it's going to be more so Ebiketie this week, if it's going to put D'Angelo Malone into some rhythm this week, maybe Caden Ellis coming off the edge, maybe more James Smith-Williams. Activate Doris. Hashtag activate Dorless.
Jack, have we turned into the Susan Lucci of sacks?
Shit.
So for those of you who don't know
what?
Susan Lucci was, Susan was
the what?
So she was a daytime soap opera star. I think soap opera star. I think she was on General Hospital, and she never won an award. She eventually won one, but she went like 20 or 30 years without winning an Emmy. I think her name was Susan Lucci or Susan something like that. But every year you'd watch it just to see if she'd win, and it became a thing, and she didn't win. And I'm wondering if the Falcons are becoming the Susan Lucci of sacks. Like every year we're like, will we get one this game? Is this the game where we get one? You know, but I mean, the good news is, guys, we're still winning.
I mean, we talked about this. Our fans going to be upset if we don't reach a certain milestone in sacks, but we're winning games. And at first, fans said, no, of course we're not going to be upset. We're winning games. But now fans are like, no, we're upset. You're winning games and you're not getting sacks. So we're going to talk about that here tonight on One Time for the Fan. We'll go to the chat real quick. Look, chat is live. Chat is lit. One Time for the Fan is from the fan for the fan. Terry, you know, we love talking with the fans. You know, so Deshaun Costa was in the chat. He said, what's up, one-timers?
What up,
the Falcons selected William Andrews with which overall pick in the 1979 draft? Yeet! Get some. Terry, I'll let you answer this one. We can get a point for One Time for the Fan.
I'm going to say 79th. I'm going to say the 79th overall.
The 79th pick in 1979, Terry?
I'm going to say 79th.
I think we got something here, Falcon fans. Who is often referred to as the Queen of Rock?
I know this one.
Yeek, get some. Hit us with some music trivia. Hit us with some football Falcons trivia too as well.
It is. Let me see you shake a tail feather. Miss Tina Turner is known as the Queen of Rock and Roll. It is Miss Tina Turner.
So Terry, you're 2 for 2 right now.
Hey, man.
Starting off the week here with Deshaun's trivia. Deshaun, man. Come on, man. We got the old school. We got the new school. You're going to have to hit us with some 1930 questions up in here, man. You're going to hit us with some, long ago. Face that. Big shout out to everybody here in the chat, man. I know everybody's asking some questions, and they're talking about the defense and Falcons in Seattle this weekend. Cool C's in the chat with the one time. Big shout out to Cool C. Drake Shoe Statement. Big shout out to Drake Shoe Statement, man, in the chat. I got time today. He said with the one-timers, he said, Jack T. Will, Falcons fam, how y'all feeling this evening? Feeling good, Dre, man. You know you've been in here for a while. We've talked Falcons, man, not even for like a couple of days, not even for like a couple of weeks, for months, man. For some years, we've been talking Falcons. And now look where we're at, Dre. Right? In the middle of the season right now. Still like, probably the beginning of the season, going into the middle of the season. But the Falcons are looking good. right? And there was a time where Dre, you was in the chat, and we was on a 2-game losing streak or a 3-game losing streak, or we was getting ready to, try to hope to make the playoffs, or talk about the quarterback issues that we had here in the past. Dre's been with us for a minute here on One Time for the Fans. So big shout out to Trey True statement in the chat. He said, "Who the hell's Mr. Super Shin?" I don't know, man, but everybody's getting blocked by him.
He is
So
say
what happened, Terry?
he is Kaiser Sose.
Sterling Woods in the chat. At least 3 sacks. Big shout out to Sterling Woods. He said our linebacker should be blitzing all night on Sunday. And don't forget, Falcon fans, remember we talked about the Terry the other night with the super chat, because we've been getting a lot of super chats since we hit 1,000 subscribers. So we're giving back to One Time for the Fan, right? So with the I guess the super chats that we've gotten already, we're gonna give away a hat, or we're gonna give away a shirt. We're gonna give away something, some type of Falcons gear coming up here on One Time for the Fan. So just stay tuned for the details. We'll pick a show. Terry will probably be the bye week. If not the bye week, then a little bit beforehand. But for those in the chat, man, we definitely want to give a big shout out to you all here talking Falcons football. So see here, Uncle Steve, he said, "Fellas, I'm feeling Geno is going to run into 3 sacks this week, but honestly, I'll focus on the dubs." Terry, Jack stole my seats again, this time in Charlotte. Man, Uncle Steve, let me tell you something, man. Uncle Steve is like, he's prestige when it comes to getting the best seats in the house, Terry. Like, Terry, I told you this before, man. You thought my seats were good,
bro.
I look over to the left and I look over to the right. There goes Uncle Steve,
man.
Right? From one city to the other, man.
What game was that?
Philly.
No. I'm talking about the last home.
You talking about when Uncle Steve drove by in the truck? We're blowing the horn trying to get him to turn around. He didn't see us.
The last one I went to, the Chiefs. Man, I went out, and for that game, you know how you have those the field, right? You're on the field. I look over to the left, man. There's this luxurious suite. They got like a place where you could just sit and lay out. You know what I mean? I mean, clearly, it's only for ballers. And lo and behold, who do I see? Uncle Steve up in there. Like,
of course. Of course, Uncle Steve's over there.
Ballers.
Once you said only for ballers, I already knew you was talking about Uncle Steve,
bro. Hey, look here, man. All you bro. I couldn't afford water up in that piece.
Was the mayor in there?
I believe he was.
Shit.
I believe he was.
That gets a wow.
I believe he was.
Uncle Steve hanging with the mayor in the terrace.
Yeah, so
Falcons fans. Big shout out to Greg Q statement in the chat. He said we came a long way, my boy. Walter Christopher May Jr. is in the chat. He said, "I hope we get Reddick or Crosby. Another pass rusher will propel this team to the NFC Championship or further." Terry, let's talk quickly on the trade so far. There has been some trades in the NFL, and some splash moves. I think Amari Cooper going to the Bills was a splash move, coming from the Browns, where you see where they're at with Deshaun Watson now. And let me tell you something. You see the Browns fan base. Remember when the Falcon fans used to be around there, Terry? Well, we used to, I hate the quarterback. I can't stand this guy. Get this coach out of here. Now we're feeling good. Like, now Falcon fans are talking like hella shit on social media because we're in first. We got a team that can win. We have a team that can back up all the trash talk. In the past, it's been a little bit different, right? So now you're in a situation where, Terry, you need a pass rusher on the other side of Judon, because we thought Judon was going to fix the problem, right? We thought the new scheme was going to fix the problem. Mm-hmm. We thought the new coach, defensive coordinator, was going to fix the problem. Mm-hmm. But still, Terry, we're back last in the league in sacks, and we're coming up to the trade deadline here soon. But some of the moves that's been made has Falcon fans looking and thinking, go and grab Hassan Reddick. I think he's available for trade now via what the Jets has been talking about. Max Crosby also too as well. You saw a video recently of him pushing the Raiders staff member out there in Las Vegas after they lost the game recently. But Terry, there are some guys that's available outside of Reddick or Crosby, but there are some top candidates that Falcon fans are thinking. Terry, Raheem, the group, they've been doing great jobs. They've been doing a great job this offseason bringing in some good players. Do they have an opportunity to go snag a Hassan Reddick? Do they have an opportunity to go snag a Max Crosby, who has a giant Raiders tattoo on his arm for some strange reason? But Terry, your thoughts on this pass rush situation that Walter Christopher May Jr. is speaking about, because that is an area of concern. And then outside of that, Terry, what is your thoughts on this defense?
I think it's a break, don't bend defense. Excuse me. I think it's a bend, don't break defense. And I think they're operating it well. Clearly, from what I can see, their thought process on defense is keep everything in front of you. We'll play two safeties. You're not going to throw it over the top of us. We'll keep everything in front. And guess what? When you get to the red zone, you're probably going to score field goals anyway. We're giving up typically two touchdowns and maybe one or two field goals a game, typically about 23 points a game. We typically go in at halftime, figure it out, come back and allow no more than 6 points in the second half. And we've been winning because we typically score more than 26, 27 points. So the approach is working. We've played against some pretty good teams. We played against the Chiefs. We held them to 22 points. We played against the Eagles. We held them to 23 points. So while we are not getting sacks, and that's why stats alone are dangerous, because stats without context do not tell the full story. If you look at just our stats, they're not good. Consider it in context. Look at how many yards we give up versus how many times a team scores in the red zone when they get in there. And I would dare to say it's probably top 15. So with that being said, we can win that way. Now, when you talk about going up against the best of the best, I don't know that that's necessarily going to fly. It did fly with the Rams in 21 because I don't think they had a lot of sacks, but they did have Mama there goes that man again, Aaron Donald. So that's for what it's worth. But anyway, I think we do need a pass rusher. Would I go and get Hassan Reddick? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Why? Well, because he clearly has told the Jets, I'm not playing until I get money. So what do you think he's going to do for the Falcons? And if you go and get him, and let's say you give him the money, you're going to do that and look Matthew Judon in the face and say, hey, man, can you wait until – no, you've just created an issue in your locker room. So, no, you're not going to go and get him. The owner of the Raiders has come out and said we're not trading Max Crosby, and I don't even know that. Well, I'm gonna leave that one alone. For me, Myles Garrett comes to mind. I like him. If you can get him, Hall of Famer, great. Maybe Trayvon Walker with the Jags. Maybe Azeez Ojulari with the Giants. Trey Hendrickson, Zadarius Smith, also with the Browns, and Jadeveon Clowney.
Smith is the one I have at the top of my list right now. Another veteran guy too, as well, that you can bring in here and help alongside Matthew Judon and of course that front line. But fans are upset with Carter. They're upset with Ebiketie. You can see it from what they're speaking about on social media. And of course, they just want to see a little bit more on defense. I know we're getting the wins and secondary is playing well. And of course, this week I'm expecting to have about at least 2 or 3 interceptions. The way Geno Smith's been throwing the ball, they're coming off a 3-game losing streak too as well. But the Falcons should be able to dominate in the trenches and not only win this game on offense, but also win this game on defense too as well. So I'm hoping to see about 2 or 3 sacks. But yes, a pass rusher that can help out alongside Judon. Maybe they can put James Smith-Williams in more of a different role than what we've been seeing so far. Arnold Ebiketie, I know a lot of fans are upset about. It's a guy that we drafted here past couple years. Last year, towards the end of the season, he had a nice run that fans were speaking about, and so far this year, we just haven't been able to see it. But it's still early in the season, Falcon fans. So let's hope that this Sunday they do get off the blocks early and go out there and get Geno Smith on the ground and force some 3 and outs, and we get the Benz rocking, but. The Mercedes-Benz is definitely becoming a hostile environment, I have to say. From the first game with the Steelers, we were mentioning the Steeler fans coming in there and taking over the Benz. That was a lie. The Falcon fans definitely showed up for that game, even though we lost that game. And, of course, what we do on the road, big shout out to the Rise Up Tour fan club. We do try to do the best we can to make sure fans have a good time whenever they go out there and go to these away games. But you go back to like the Chiefs Sunday night game, there's Falcon fans everywhere, right? You go back to the Saints game, you go back to the Terry, you was there, right? You go back to the Saints game, you go to the Bucks game, right? The stadium is just getting more and more packed. And then this Sunday, you have a team flying from the top of the West Coast coming over here. They're not bringing a large fan base. I know the Seahawks, the 12s do travel, but this is not the Russell Wilson years where there was like the Legion of Boom, where there was fans everywhere. I mean, I do expect to see some Seahawk fans in there because Atlanta's one of those cities where you have a little bit of everybody living here, right? But you're going to see a vast majority of Falcon fans all over the stadium because we're coming on a 3-game win streak. The tickets are not that cheap to, not that expensive to as well, compared to that Cowboys game, which is like $400 to walk in the door. We're going to talk about that here shortly. But yeah, Falcon fans, I think we do have to make a move for a pass rusher. I'm just not in on the tier 1 pass rusher that's going to be costing a lot of money coming up. Cap situation too as well, which you're going to be paying these guys in the future. I know you have some upcoming rookie contracts you're going to deal with too as well in the year or two. So
got Jesse Bates.
You can that's true as well. You can also get a steal the way you've been working through the draft. Right? I mean, I don't want to say you had to wait to the draft to go get your guy, but that is an area of concern next year to maybe, Terry, if you're sitting at, like they said, 26, 27, like Terry said, we don't want to be in the top 10 no more. All right, well, it seems like this might be the year to start it. We might be able to move up into the top 15 with a trade or so to go grab you a pass rusher, right? To go grab you a guy that's your future long-term star here in Atlanta. Another John Abraham, right? Another guy who can rack up the sacks. But for a trade, I mean, there are some names that Falcon fans have been calling out that should be a part of a trade package to get them up out of here, along with some picks. And let's go package and let's go get a guy who can help increase the pass rush. And I'm all for it. It would suck to see some of the guys that here go that's going to possibly be on that trade block. But if it's going to better the team, if it's going to move us forward in the right direction, then so be it. But Terry, what if it isn't just the player? What if it's the scheme that's the problem, right? What if we go get a guy and we spend a bunch of money, we go trade all these players and he come over here and he get no sacks, 4 or 5 games in, still no sacks? Then what? Fans going to talk about that. They're going to talk bad about you, right?
Our scheme is predicated on 4 guys getting there. So you've got to go and get a guy on the other end that can just flat out rush the pad, that can get there. You know what I mean? If you got a guy on the end that can get there, you're good to go. But to your point, you've got to go and get the right guy. You know what I mean? You got to go and get a guy that wins. Bottom line, he can bull rush. He can do whatever he needs to do to win. And if you get that, it makes everything fit because then you don't have to blitz. Raheem doesn't want to blitz.
Also, haven't played much of Dorless. You're getting Rook more activated now too as well. Like there's a possibility that these 2 guys can be impact players here. Zach Harrison, Tyquan Graham, who haven't seen much of them. There are other guys on this team that can help get to the quarterback. I think this Sunday we're going to get a chance to see it. If you come away with a win and no sacks this Sunday, yeah, make the trade. Let's get the guys in here.
Even if you don't, I mean, and no disrespect to AK-47 and
no, never.
And Zoe, but geez,
you gotta keep it real here. You gotta keep it real, man.
You gotta have that, right? You gotta have that because I mean, hey, we for the most part, we've done well. Guys, keep it in front of you. Keep it in front of you. Okay, they're not gonna pass deep because in my mind's eye, I had a coach like that, right? And his philosophy was, if I make you get there in 15 plays. In a lot of cases, you're going to make one bad play, and I the ball back, or we're going to stop you.
Yeah, but if we saw that in that Philadelphia game too, as well.
Right. If you can get there in 2 or 3 plays, then the advantage comes to you, right? So clearly, their thought process is keep everything in front of us. Yeah, you might complete little 5, 6, you might dink and dunk it down the field, but when it comes to the red zone, you're not gonna get in that end zone. And I'd love to see what our percentage is on red zone efficiency on defense. It would have to be high, or at least at number 15, because if it wasn't, we'd be last in the league in points, and we're not. We're not last in the league in points. We're pretty far down there on yards. But you win this game by points. We've scored more than they have 4 out of 2 times. And even with that being said, I think our offense is better than what people are saying, because in that first game we scored 10 points.
Mm-hmm.
We're
Since that first game we have delivered,
right.
offensively in the league.
We've been trending upwards, right?
Right.
So in this past game, we scored 38.
Mm-hmm.
Game before that, we scored.
Technically, we could have scored 6. You could have scored almost close to 50 plus.
Yeah, you could have scored
even more, because you remember the Drake London touchdown that it could have been a pass interference. They didn't call that one. But then the Clark Phillips, he could have ran that pick 6 back too as well. The Ray Ray one where he fumbled, we was driving down the field to go score that one too as well. And plus, at that time, Carolina had already quit. When they came out that second half of the locker room, when I seen Sir Purr go in the locker room, didn't come back out, I said, this game is over. I said, the mascot's gone. Look at this. But that's just from where I was sitting. That's what I can see. But there's some fans here in the chat that do agree with the scheme. You did change the scheme up this year, but you got some players to add to the mix that's supposed to be able to fill that scheme, and it hasn't been able to work out. You're winning games.
Look,
but you're last in the league in sacks, but you can come away with some sacks Sunday, Terry.
You have to ask yourself, what's the ultimate goal here, right? Is it to get sacks or is it to win?
That's true.
That's true. I mean, hey, look, I'm about winning. Winning ugly, winning pretty. I'm about winning, nothing else.
Yeah.
If we're winning, hey, now, again, I feel like if you go and get a pass rusher, that says to me you're thinking about January and beyond. Because for right now,
your team is solid to make it to January.
Now, but there's a but to that, and that but is we still got to go down to Tampa Bay, and you're going to get their best effort.
Yeah,
didn't get their best effort here because a lot of those guys weren't healthy. Antoine Winfield is back.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna get their best effort when you go down to Tampa.
Mm-hmm. They do have a tough game coming up this Sunday too as well. So we do hope that Tampa Bay Buccaneers get banged up a little bit before they have to come play us.
Either way, to beat the best, you got to beat the best, right? To be the best, you got to beat the best. So,
well, in this case, that would be us.
Absolutely. Well, hey man.
I mean, hold on, Terry. You talked about trending upwards, right?
We are trending upwards, but you got to go out and earn it every game, every day, right?
I mean,
we're first place now, but we haven't earned anything, Jack. It only just where you are at the end of the year, right?
I'm just saying.
I mean, it's good. It's good that we're moving up the rankings, but I mean that in 25 cents to buy you a cup of coffee. I mean, it doesn't mean anything until the end of the year, Jack. So we have a lot of work to do. So
we sure do. But to sit at 7 in the power rankings,
good
for NFL and Fox, it's good to see. Because I haven't seen this in a while. And this is not like week 1, week 2. We're going into week 7 here, Falcon fans.
Yeah.
So this is good to see that you're behind teams such as the Chiefs. Mm-hmm. The Vikings is the one where it's like, wow.
They're 5-0 though. I mean, you can't take any, and I think their winning is predicated off of turnovers. I think they've gotten the most turnovers in the league.
I saw the replay the other day, and it's like, they just have a balanced offense. I mean, Sam Darnold is doing what Kurt was doing, just not on the level, of course, by the numbers. But their defense, Brian Flores is playing defense. Lights out defense that they have over there in Minnesota. And it's another thing too, Terry, that I'm kind of upset about. I'm kind of not really upset, but more so worried. That Falcons-Vikings game could possibly be flexed because they just flexed the Commanders game. Mm-hmm. And we're already in week 7 and they're already flexing games based off of the record.
Mm-hmm.
They moved the 425 game. I think they moved it from 4 to 7 or 4 to 8 for the Sunday night game, and they moved the other one from 4 to 1, I believe it was.
Mm.
So they're already flexing games. I might be wrong on what I just said on the times. I know the Commanders game was flexed to I think a later time that evening. And then the Bengals game was flexed to 1 o'clock or something for CBS or Fox. But the Falcons have to head to Minnesota in a couple weeks to play the Vikings. And if the Vikings continue on this path and the Falcons continue on this path, that 1 o'clock matchup will not be 1 o'clock.
It might be flex.
You might as well. It's a December game too. So what a better way for the NFL to make some money than to flex the top 2 teams in the NFC.
We know they love some money.
Well, damn. Falcon fans, hit that like, hit that share, hit the subscribe button. As you look here on the screen.
Test. I think that's going to be a good test for us. I really do.
It is. We have some good tests over here. I mean, the Chargers are still 15th right here.
And you know what's interesting? The Chargers have the number 1 defense in the league, right? So yep. This is the madness and the utter chaos that's in the NFL.
Yep.
For all of you who are like, oh, we need sacks, that doesn't get the Chargers are 15th, and they have the number 1 defense in the league. What does that tell you? Number 1 defenses don't always win. It's a balance. It's your balance. It's what works for you, right? It's what works for you. And everybody's way of winning is different. Yeah, there's some common traits, but number 1 defense in the league as far as the stats go.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't even think they're second or in third place in their division. So there's something to knowing how to win. Raheem knows how to win. Say what you want about him. Has he been fortunate? Absolutely. 100%. But Raheem and his merry band of Falcons know how to win. They know how to close it out. So for all of you guys who are like, oh, we need this, we need that, we need this, hang on. We're winning. San Francisco's got a great defense. They're number 11.
Yeah.
Right? So
they have a tough matchup coming up too as well. They have the Chiefs coming up, I believe.
Right. Pittsburgh, who beat us in the first game. If we face Pittsburgh today, I think we
would definitely beat Pittsburgh right now.
Think that's a different outcome.
Yeah. Same for the Chiefs too as well. I mean, you got them early in the season. I know they're undefeated right now, but the way the Falcons have been playing, we're going touchdown for touchdown with the Chiefs. As you saw the other night, just the referee was on a different page there.
Yeah. So I mean, again, and I'm not saying we don't need sex, but I'm saying there's a have you ever heard of the chaos theory, Jack? Mm-hmm. It says that even though things may appear random, there is a pattern to it, right? There's a method to our madness. Even though it appears guys are just running amok and running up and down the field, there's a method to it. And the method is keep everything in front of you, because 9 times out of 10, when you get down in the red zone, we're going to boggle you up. We're going to stop you. And then ultimately, we're going to figure it out, and we're going to come out in the second half. We're going to stop you, and our offense is going to keep it pushing. And we're going to do what we need to do to win. Mm-hmm. That's our philosophy, and it has us at 7th best thus far. Now, again, I'm not selling pie in the sky, people. Look, we need a pass rush. I'm going to be careful in the statement. If we get a very decent pass rusher, there's a good chance we can make the Super Bowl. I'm not saying definitively, but if we go out and get a Myles Garrett and everybody, can stay reasonably healthy, there's a good chance we can make the Super Bowl. So I get it. But anyway, go ahead. I'm going to get off my soapbox now, Jack.
You do have something to look forward to this week. No, you're good. You're good, Terry. You do have something to look forward to this week, Falcon fans, with a team that's trying to bounce back in sacks and, of course, on a 3-game winning streak. So feel good about that. Geno Smith is the 3rd most sacked quarterback in the league right now at 19. And it's an opportunity here, Falcon fans, because I know you guys probably saw the videos or probably looked into the Seattle Seahawks fan base or their tweets or what their their journalists and their sports writers are saying over there. Their offensive line is not that good, right? And it's a left guard and the right tackle too as well, who have been a big bulk load of their problems. And this week, they should have their hands full with David and Grady and Matthew Judon. Because if I'm Raheem, if I'm Jimmy, I'm going to that right tackle, and I'm telling you, I'm going to Matthew Judon. I'm saying, you see that tackle? He's the worst tackle in the league. That's the side you'll be honest today. you're getting your 5-6 sack game right here. And then Terry, because we're gonna be hanging out drinking Sunday night. Who knows? It's gonna be a podcast. But Monday when we do our pop-up podcast, the follow-up, then we can talk about a Falcon team that came away with 4, 5, 6 sacks, right? Because the Seahawks have one of the worst lines in the NFL. They're going to try to run the ball to offset, of course, Geno Smith passing the ball 30, 40, 50 times. Go look at the numbers. Go look at the passing yards. Go look at the passing attempts. Geno Smith is going to throw the fuck out that ball. It is going to get some situations where, a first and 10, he might even throw a 30, 40 yarder down the field.
Mm-hmm.
It's possible. He might be the first one to try our 2 safeties, seeing how Justin Simmons now is battling a hamstring injury.
Mm-hmm.
Now, do you think, Terry, let's just say, you're a coach for the Seattle Seahawks and you see that you're coming in there to play a red hot Atlanta Falcons team at home. I mean, on the road.
Mm-hmm.
You notice that one of their star safeties, who they picked up in the offseason, is battling an injury right now and missed practice today. Possibly could miss the game Sunday. How does that change your outlook for your offense when you got Geno Smith, who one of the quarterbacks who throws the most in the league? You're probably going to go over there and tell him, look, we got to attack the safeties. Jesse Bates can't do it all by himself. We've already thrown the ball 30, 40, 50 times. Let's do it again.
First and foremost, Jesse Bates can do it all by himself. He's super.
Sheesh.
Whatever, Jack.
For an opponent looking at our team, they might look at it that way. Yeah, but you know how we look at it here in Atlanta. Jesse Bates can pretty much do it all by himself.
Yeah. I mean, if Richie Grant's starting, yeah, I would.
Mm-hmm.
I would. If Justin Simmons is starting, I don't know.
I'm not gonna be able to do it.
I don't, because I mean, you don't know how the degree of the egregiousness of the injury of Simmons. It could be just a light. You throw that thing if you want to. Okay, he put that thing up if you. I don't. Maybe if they were at home, you know what I mean. If you're playing in front of your fans, you probably can do that. But you don't want to come to Atlanta and get down 14 points to this. You don't want to do that. Because one thing about maybe we don't pass rush when everything's equal, but you give this team a lead, you're gonna see something totally different. Because then we know you have to pass. That change, now we can just pin our ears back and come get you. That's a little different. That's what happened on that pass, the second one to Clark. Is we knew what they were doing and we just sat back there. We knew you were going to pass it. If we came to get you and you had to throw it and you did and it got picked off, it makes a difference. It makes a difference. It makes a big difference. So, I mean, I don't know. Maybe they'll try it. I mean, that's their MO. That's what they do. But I don't know that I would try. I'd be a little intimidated to throw, especially when you're in too deep zone. It's different if you're in some sort of coverage where you got one safety deep. Okay, try it. But if you got 2, if Simmons is well enough to get out there, I wouldn't try it. Doesn't mean they won't. Doesn't mean they won't. But I wouldn't. I mean, why would you? The book on the Falcons says run the ball. Falcons.
Looking at their stats right now, I mean, they have points per game. They're 13th in the league. Yards per game, they're 7th in the league. So going over here on their defense, I mean, 25th on opposing points per game, 19th on opposing yards per game. They're giving up almost 339 plus yards on the field. And you got a team like the Falcons, which is, one of the most improved offenses in the NFL right now. Kirk Cousins is a possibility, Terry. We might see another 300, 400-yard game from Kirk Cousins this week against the Seahawks.
You could. So, either way, it's going to be an interesting game. I'm not going to say the Seahawks are a pushover by, but I mean, because look, they get paid too, and I think they're going to come in motivated. They're coming off a 3-game losing streak. Who wants to continue that? So they're going to come in. You're going to get their best shot. Now, I think there's still a high probability we win that game if we come in and do it. Number one, if we don't turn the ball over, there's a high probability we win. We are playing at home, which means that place is going to be rocking. It's going to be up and down. It's going to be crazy. And it really is turning into a hostile environment for visiting teams that come in there. So as long as we don't turn the ball over and beat ourselves, I think we win this game.
Hey, that's good to hear that. Falcon fans, hit that like, hit that share, hit that subscribe button. Miss Carrie from One Time for the Fan. Big shout out to Miss Carrie in the chat, talking Falcons football with everybody down there. So this is great to see everybody here talking Falcons football with us tonight. But we got to go ahead and wrap up this show here. Breeze, 1500 ATL Rise Up. Said Dixon Way Ray. Big shout out to everybody from the Dixon Way.
Everybody,
as
what
well.
up? Dixon Way.
Got a chance to chop it up with Larry the other day. Terry, how's everything going before my ATL Sports, man, before we get up out of here? Because it's a short show tonight. Friday morning, we're back. Breakfast with One Time for the Fan, 9 a.m., right? So we'll talk some Falcons football then. We'll break down some more Falcons Seahawks talk, right? But we do have some upcoming event information for you all here that's heading out, for fans heading on the road. Marion Franks is in the chat. Big shout out to Marion Franks. Magic Man's in the chat. Dixon Way Ray with the cheers. Big shout out to Magic Man. And of course, the Dixon Way is here
Dixon
showing
Way.
love.
What's going on, man?
Big shout out to the Dixon Way.
I got so much respect for this dude, man. He just
does
it. And being on a few podcasts myself, I know what that entails. So, I just got to give it up to my man. I got to give him all due respect out there doing it, out there killing it, doing it on multiple platforms, man. Hey, man, Dixon Way, here's to you, brother.
Hey, look. Hey, you talking about the Dixon Way, man, putting out good content. A lot of content creators out here in the Falcons community putting out good content. Big shout out to Travis Preston's too as well in the chat. Jay Black in the chat. C Electrician in the chat. William Amy, Drake Shoe Statement. So many Falcon fans here talking Falcons football. But a big shout out to the Water Boys too as well, man. The Water Boys, man. B Rich and Playboy Trey, man. Caught their show the other night too as well. The other day when they had Pastor Troy on. They were talking about the Rise Up Tour fan club too as well, because Troy goes on the road with us and does a lot, for the Rise Up Tour fan club when it comes to, making sure fans have a good time too as well, because we're just one big Falcons family. But we do have some stuff coming up here that I know Falcon fans are excited to talk about, and they're excited to, get ready to be a part of. So the parade on Bourbon Street, it's going down. It's going down. If you're heading to New Orleans, it's going down. So make sure you can make sure you scan that QR code right there so you can donate to the cause of what we have going on here. We have to pay the New Orleans Police Department and some other stuff, you know what I'm saying, for the security, that type of stuff. We got the permit and everything. So big shout out to everybody that's going to be a part of the parade. Right now we have a lot of Falcon fans who's going to be down there in November for the sweep. You can see tomorrow night too as well, the Saints possibly could be on their 5-game losing streak, playing up against Sean Payton, former head coach of the New Orleans Saints, and the Denver Broncos. And right now, I think looking at the Saints wide receiver core, I mean, there's some guys they picked up from Kroger that's playing for the Saints tomorrow night. I haven't seen some of these names before.
Isn't Shabazz out or something like that?
A bunch of those players are out, and it goes down to the situation where Saints are in a state of misery right now. They can't believe how bad that team has gotten since the first 2 weeks. And that's the curse of beating up the Cowboys. What did they play them in Dallas? Or was it in New Orleans? Was it Dallas? They beat them in Dallas. Yeah.
It was Dallas.
It's the curse of beating the Cowboys, and that's the Jerry Jones curse of beating the Cowboys in Dallas. That's what it is. So good thing we got the Cowboys here in Atlanta. But for Falcon fans, the parade on Bourbon Street is going down. So if you're heading to New Orleans, it's going to start around 2 o'clock. Got to be over there in formation around 1:45. They told us, for everybody that's listening to as well, people asked about vehicles in the parade. Can't have no vehicles in the parade. And once the parade starts, they said it's roped off so that way you can't get in, right? They said the police will trip on us if you try to get over the ropes or try to get in to the parade. So we want to make sure everybody's there, at one time. So 1:45, about 1:30, 1:45, we're meeting up at the top of Canal Street, so we can go ahead and get this parade out the way. So if you're heading down to New Orleans, this is the first ever Falcon Fan Parade hosted by the Rise Up Tour Fan Club. So big shout out to everybody over there at the Rise Up Tour Fan Club. And of course, fans were asking us about the bus trip to Tampa. It's sold out, Falcon fans. It is sold out. It is sold out. Just like Carolina, we had 2 bus trips going to Carolina. Tampa, we just have our 1 bus trip right now, and it's sold out. So for fans that want to be a part of the next upcoming events that we have,
That's
I'll
your
be able
birthday
to post them.
weekend.
Huh?
That's your birthday weekend. Scorpio season.
That is the birthday. That's right. That's right. Next week Saturday. Next week Saturday is going down in Tampa. The party information will be posted here soon, so that way all the Falcon fans can come and hang out. If you're heading down to Tampa for that Falcons Bucks game, so it's gonna be a good time. It's gonna be a good time. Big shout out to Drake Shoe statement in the chat. You said the Water Boys are killing it. Yeah, man, we're definitely gonna be collabing with the Water Boys coming up here because I talked to Trey the other day. You gave me a call, and we're talking about some really cool Falcon stuff, man. So we're working on some things right now. And big shout out to Jay Black. He said, "Night, everyone. We'll see you Friday morning, 9 a.m. Probably have another pop-up show too as well. I'm feeling good that the Falcons are in first place right now. Right? Silver Screen Academy is here in the chat. Big shout out to the Silver Screen with the Dixon Way raid. Man, the Dixon Way just continues to support. One time for the fan. Continue to look out for the Falcons community, man. And he's one of the OGs out here, man. So big shout out to the Dixon Way for everything that they do.
Just a good dude all
around. Oh yeah, definitely, man. Dr. Dixon, the Blues physician is in the chat. The Dixon Way raid is going down. Drake's statement said, "I'm gonna have to meet up with y'all in New Orleans."
Great,
hey, man. Friday night, we're probably gonna have something. We ain't planning nothing for Friday night yet, but we will.
Drake said he gonna be in that suite this weekend. You didn't see it, Jack? He said that.
Some of us gonna be in the suite this weekend. Drake, you ain't the only one, bro. You know what I'm saying?
I see you.
You know what I'm saying? Big shout out Uncle Steve, man. You know what I'm saying? Nah, I'm just trying to be like Uncle Steve here.
Uncle Steve,
yeah, man. Falcon fans, what's up, Terry?
Uncle Steve's about that life, man.
Man, he's cool. Man, Uncle Steve's cool, man. Hey, it's going down in a major way. Falcon fans, go ahead and wrap this up. Get up out of here. T. Will, what's your shout out, man?
Yes, sir. Number one, amen. Shout out to all my family in this business. Number one, Mr. Jack Spade, friend and mentor. My brother Eric, obviously Carrie, Bodie 3000, my squad, Lisa Shepard, Tiff Raines, Jabri Harper, and C-Dub, of course. So yeah, just want to give them a shout out. Shout out to all the fans in the chat. Appreciate y'all. This is why we do it. Thank God for you every day. Love doing this, and we'll continue to do it. Gotta thank God. Appreciate him for everything that he has given me, and just another day. And last but not least, obviously, I can be seen here at One Time for the Fan on Sunday nights, Wednesday nights at 8 p.m. Friday morning at 9 a.m. Also, come on over to my channel, and please like, share, and subscribe for this one. And come over to my channel. I cannot talk whenever I do this. I don't know why. But please come over, like, share, and subscribe to my channel, which is For My ATL Sports 1 on YouTube. We can be seen there Friday nights. We will have a show Friday night. We will have Mr. Scott Karisic. We will be going over the Falcons scenarios and options for pass rushers. And for those of you who don't know Scott is a numbers guy.
Scott's been here on the channel like 10 times, man. He's so cool. Talks Falcons football for hours, bro. Die-hard fan. So he's going to give us not only the trade scenarios, but just how realistic, how much, what we have to give up, what we have to do to pay whoever we go and get in just those scenarios. So please tune in Friday night at 7 for that. We typically get together. If One Time for the Fan can't air just because, you guys are partying after the game, we typically will come in Sunday and air. And if you guys can, then we'll do it Monday. And that's about it. So, guys, again, please like, share, and subscribe for My ATL Sports 1 on YouTube. Guys, thank you. Appreciate it. Jack, as long as you keep inviting me, I will keep coming back. And, sir, I defer to you. Go right ahead. Hey, Falcon fans, big shout out to you all in the chat. Big shout out to everybody that's watching and listening. Apple Podcasts, Spotify Podcasts, Amazon Podcasts. To my family, to my friends, love y'all. Continue to be great. Terry, Bodie, Carrie, y'all are amazing. Big shout out to you all. Big shout out to all the Falcon content creators and the Rise Up Tour fan club. And if I missed you, I apologize, but a shout out goes out to you too as well. Rise up, Falcon fans. Don't forget, man, One Time for the Fan. It's from the fan. It's for the fan. So we'll see y'all Friday morning,